Is alcohol good or bad for you? Well, that's a very contentious topic. So let's examine the pros and cons, the good and the bad, in this video. Now, before we go any further, I want to state that certain people shouldn't drink alcohol under any circumstances. And those people include pregnant and breastfeeding women, women at a higher risk of breast cancer, people with family histories of alcohol abuse, children and adolescents, people taking medication that can interact with alcohol, those with health conditions such as liver problems or ulcers, and anyone requiring skill or coordination to perform a task. So if you're going to drive a motor vehicle or operate machinery, you should not drink alcohol at all under any circumstances. Now let's look at the good side of alcohol. Moderate drinking can raise levels of good cholesterol, which helps prevent blood clots, especially those that could lead to a stroke, and it helps keep the blood flowing smoothly throughout your body. And it can improve your libido. Moderate drinking might actually protect against erectile dysfunction in the same way that drinking red wine might benefit heart disease. In a study published in 2009, researchers found that the chances of erectile dysfunction were reduced by 25% to 30% among alcohol drinkers, and that's according to the Journal of Sexual Medicine. And it can lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. Results of a Dutch study showed that healthy adults who drink 1 or 2 glasses per day have a decreased chance of developing type 2 diabetes in comparison to those who don't drink at all. And this is due to alcohol enhancing the uptake of blood sugar by the cells, and that's according to the American Diabetes Association. And it can actually decrease your chances of developing dementia. In a study that included more than 365,000 participants since 1977, and as reported in the journal Neuropsychiatric Disease and Treatment, moderate drinkers were 23% less likely to develop cognitive impairment or Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. So drink up and stay healthy in that respect. But of course, the other side of the coin, some aspects of alcohol is bad for you. And particularly, alcohol can be addictive. And this can lead to alcoholism in people who have a predisposition to it, and especially if there is a family history of alcoholism. And a study by the University of Chicago rated alcohol at 81 on a scale of 100 for addiction. So it came 81 out of 100 for addiction, and that was higher than heroin, cocaine, or marijuana. Tobacco, incidentally, scored 100 on the scale for addiction. And alcohol can lead to liver disease. In particular, it can lead to a disease called alcoholic fatty liver. And fatty liver develops in 90% of those who drink more than 16 grams. That's about half an ounce of alcohol per day. And that's according to the National Center for Biotechnology Information. I suppose if you see somebody with a beer gut, it's generally actually a fatty liver. And it can also lead to cirrhosis. Now, cirrhosis is an irreversible and potentially fatal liver condition where your liver just basically stops functioning. And quite often, the only cure for cirrhosis is a liver transplant. And that really doesn't happen all that often. So this is a very, very serious condition, and alcohol abuse is far and away the most likely cause of cirrhosis. And while alcohol may make you feel good in the short term, continued long-term heavy drinking can lead to depression and other mental health issues. And of course, it promotes bad eating habits. Alcohol makes you crave salt, sugar, and fat. And these are just the sorts of foods that you want to avoid as part of a clean eating plan. So, drinking less of alcohol can actually throw your clean eating plan into complete confusion. So, the verdict? Well, you decide. While moderate drinking can be beneficial, too much of a good thing can be detrimental.